Okay, so good afternoon. As I said, it's not really possible to continue with the issues. The black goose thing that you like so much. Maybe I can scrape a couple of grams of beeswax from all the remnants here in the room, but probably not. So yeah, that's it. Kind of funny, but as I said many times, it's not irony, it's cruelty. You should not, when you are obliged not to do, interpret that situation as kind of like a poetic, divine influence over the chain of events. What you see and what you witness it's all part of systematic, genocidal and cruel behavior of the Israeli state since before it was actually incepted and up until now, and more than ever now. It's cruelty of an entire of a state that is gone made long ago, and it cannot act in any way other than in the most irrational, predatory and immoral way. And of course it destroys itself in the process. It didn't happen by chance. It doesn't look, what a change, what a coincidence that this alien with the robot with that with amazing technology and amazing capability to improve the living condition of the entire humanity and bring a new prosperous new age of industrialization and medicine, and wow, by chance he's now locked in in a small room, in a hostel for homeless people. He cannot get out, and he doesn't even have a bank account, and he have no money at all. Wow, what a coincidence! Really, this is so funny. No, it's not funny, and it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence. I'm being watched all my life, and for the last 10 or 20 years, I'm followed everywhere, every minute. And of course, all communication methods are closely monitored and also filtered according to the wishes of the Shabak. There is not a step that I do without the government manipulating it. There is no coincidence. It's not a coincidence. This is part of a long time plan to subjugate and enslave other species and to commit genocide in planetary scale. It is conducted by the Israelis, and their intelligence services are fully committed to this project. And their nature is so immoral, and they are so used to doing anything that they want, that there is nothing that they want you to advance their plans. They know very well that what they do is, that the way that they treat strangers, and especially the way that they treat me, it costs the world a huge cost, and it's like it for many decades now. They know it very well. They don't want the rest of the world to know that as well. That's why they master this huge dying as you say, painting plan to portray me in bad way. And thousands of people for many decades took part in this plan. And of course, the closer the closer the person was to me, the more active he was, the more the bigger part he took in this plan. And my family is supposedly close friends were the people that that painted me in the most cruel way, and of course completely unjustified way. All of that was in order for people abroad to not understand that what the Israelis are doing costs a huge amount of benefits and potential benefits from the entirety of mankind, and that's all for the purpose of a little bit more money to the pockets of the scumbags in Israel. They knew it very well. They know it very well. They know exactly what they do, and the painting plan, the dime plan, was integral to this operation. There is no coincidence. There is no irony here. There is only cruelty of a whole nation, cruelty of the state, cruelty of people that have no shred of humanity in them left, and the rest of the world that first of all didn't really care about it because they wanted the painting to be true, even if they only took the effort to like, just investigate things even like a little bit. They knew that it was all a lie, but they didn't want to because many people are all the world are also reaping benefits from this subjugation. And these people are the ones that are, inside the intelligence communities, and therefore they have much more power than the average Joe. And another issue is that now that the entire world already understands what's happening, they don't care because Homo sapiens in general is a species that is prone to speaking, not to acting. Yeah, they rather, move their mouths and tongues like a million times more than moving an arm or a leg. And that's a fact. I've seen it like for many, many years now. Their prosperity is to moving tongues and mouths. And it is especially true, for people in the leading positions, and especially true for people in the intelligence communities. It's not always that during the entire history of mankind that the intelligence communities, they're like predecessors or like I don't know. Were that important, but today it's not only today, but since the end of the 19th century, they control the flow of information, like they control massive media, like massive communication, and popular media, and that's since the end of the 19th century, and it's more so, it's the issue that it's only getting stronger with time, and the advancement of iPhones and smartphones. So it's only it started in the 19th century, the end of the 19th, but it's only got like worse that if you control the flow of information and the mass communication, and also entertainment is we should also add to it the entertainment is like a popular entertainment industry. You control the masses, the population. So these people, their prosperity is to speak, to move mouths and tongues, and even if you tell them, if you want to save yourself, you need to move arms and legs, not mouths and tongues. And even if they understand it, and even if they want to actually change their ways and do something according to what you say in order for them to improve the situation, even then they speak, they move their mouths and tongues in a way that is, they think represent movement of arms and legs. It's so imbued in them that the only course of action that is required of them is possible is movement of mouths and tongues. And even if they want to move their arms and legs, they actually move their mouths and tongues, but in a way that they try to make noises like that they think that will emulate or simulate the movement of arms and legs. They are so detached from any kind of like actual action that it's the only way that some of them are they are like paralyzed. They're literally paralyzed from the neck down. They can only move mouths and tongues. Many people in the intelligence communities of this world are like that. They don't even understand what's the meaning of moving of arms and legs. They think that if they speak about it, it's like they do it. They don't understand that the whole issue is that sound should not be heard. That it's not that the problem in Earth right now is not a problem of like the correct sound waves are not transmitted between different agents, like not agents in intelligence sense, but agents is like consciousness or sentient beings. It's not an issue of sound. The sound waves are not the thing that should be corrected. They should be corrected in Israel because it's literally hell. The noise that they produce. But the imminent problem on the face of the earth that is causing its destruction right now is not a problem of communicating sound waves between different computers or different people. This is not the problem, and it cannot be fixed by more sound waves transmitted in different directions. It's not going to happen like that. The solution will not be. Salvation, even a partial salvation, cannot be brought to earth by manipulation of sound waves. It's also true regarding like other electronic other waves. Also it cannot be true. Even if like you cannot like write things on pieces of paper and send the papers to other like people that will receive them and throw them to the garbage, and this kind of like circulation of messages, be that sound waves or something that are like more tangible, that like and permanent, not permanent, but written objects that are transmitted between people are not the way to improve this world, or maybe to help like a little bit of your like a small amount of your offspring to actually survive the calamities that are upon them. Any kind of like improvement in this situation, in future situation of mankind, could only manifest itself by movement of actual limbs, like you see the legs here and the arms, actual, not metaphorical ones and not representation of limbs, but actual limbs need to be moved, like actual, like the four, like see those things that that are connected to this belly, or like I don't know, like corpse, or like torso that is connected to the thing that produces the sound that you think that it's like the essence of human. So you understand that there's like a mouse here that produces sound, and you think that this is human, all this, and you don't really understand why everything else is needed. But actually, you do understand that there is a belly here because you like to eat all sorts of like other sentient beings, because you understand that this thing here, the belly, it somehow supports the sound manufacturing limbs that are not only important for you, but you think that this is human here. But I will tell you another thing. Actually, human is not only the sound producing mechanism and the belly that supports it, but if you zoom out, you see that it has like appendages. You see these two long things, and here two shorter ones, but with muscles on it. They are also part of human, and they not only part of the human body, but they are part of the human experience. And many times you actually need to move them, like the limbs themselves, not a representation of the limbs, not sound waves that emulate the limbs or represent the limbs or symbolize limbs, but the actual limbs. Actual limbs need to be moved in order to improve the human condition. And currently, it's in a critical stage that it's not only needed to improve the human condition, it's the movement of limbs is needed in order to perhaps salvage the little bit that is potentially left from humankind at all. And people in the intelligence communities of this world just, I said it again and again, and they, some of them even start to listen because they see the calamities that are upon them. And again, they tell me, okay, I understand, we understand, we will move limbs, and then they continuously move their mouths and tongues and produce sounds that they think represent movement of limbs. There is it's like a philosophical problem, but existential one, like very serious problem, that a disconnection between the symbol and the actual like object in this world, the material object. These people, the people that are that the fate of humanity is in their hands. The people of the intelligence communities, they control the fate of humanity right now. Their action or inaction, sets them and the possible future of humankind. These people do not understand the difference between representation and material. They think that it's the same. They think that, in Israel, of course, the situation is worse in this matter. Like here, they are completely detached from anything that is below the neck in Israel. Like they think that that experience is actually. They are, all of them are solipsists in Israel. Like, solipsism is the only philosophy that, that you can actually found today in Israel. Like, they all think that, realities just take place in their heads. Nothing exists besides their heads. It's not only that, they deny the fact that the human body contains other things besides the head. They think that nothing in the world exists besides the head. And so if they will think about something like strong enough, and will utter the sound that represent what they think, this will be reality. That's the only philosophy that you can find in Israel today. So, but, in the rest of the world, it's not that bad, but it's also really, really bad, because they, especially in the intelligence communities, they do not, they lost, they only, live and work in the world of symbols. They forgot at all that, the world actually exists, outside of their head, and outside the symbolic representation of that is mostly uttered by movement of their mouths and tongues, but can also be written or electronically transmitted. This is a major problem, and it's a philosophical problem, but also existential one, because if they want, because the only people that can now, help humanity at least a little bit to survive are people inside the various intelligence communities, and those people are completely like incarcerated. They're incarcerated in the in a jail that is in the jail of their mind. Like they are all like, I mean, they are locked inside their head, and they think that I mean only their brain exists, and of course the mouth and tongues. They don't understand that if they zoom out, they see other limbs as well. Especially these four ones that are very, very important, and not only important, but movement of these limbs is currently the only way that, I mean, that possibly some of you will have actually live. And I don't know how to solve this problem. Perhaps it's insolvable. Perhaps it's part of the crime. Perhaps, I mean, perhaps this issue, the thing that so, I mean, that hinders you so much in like improving the situation is also, I mean, an integral part of the crime in the first place. Like maybe your crime was, I mean, around the world, not in Israel. In Israel, the crime was genocide, but maybe around the world, I mean, the sin, a major aspect of the historical sins is that they locked themselves in like in a world of symbols, and they forgot, I mean, the reality actually exists, and it came to like the modus operandi, like the way that they act, like as a standard, like as a default, the default mode of operation is just, I mean, uttering sounds, and they stopped, like they forgot that, I mean, once not long ago they actually were, I mean, humans were actually able to move limbs. And it was actually part of, like, I mean, what was expected for them, and that's perhaps part of the sin, and because it's a sinful thing. I mean, of course, to forget the fact that you have limbs, and maybe now, I mean, it's you know, it's the sin also. I mean, dictates, I mean, how people, I mean, are handling the punishment or mishandling the punishment. So I will, in just a while, I will hold another video. I mean, let's speak. I mean, if we spoke, I mentioned symbols a lot, so let's speak about symbols a little bit. Many people ask me like all sorts of questions regarding symbols, so I'll answer you to the best that I can. I mean, I will not like speak about the whole issue of communication, which is a huge one, but I will let you just taste a little bit of like the class of communication with the Neros, and. Yes, we'll do it in a while.